Next, from Chicago, we speak with Sheila Weinberg, CEO of Truth in Accounting, about her organization's website, which allows users to examine critical data about their state's finances and how this compares to other states. This runs about 7 minutes.
Yes, so State Data Lab allows you to go onto your individual state. So we'll go on to Illinois, and we hope. And you can find the Illinois financial state of the state and any other financial state of the states that we've done for that state. So we've done the City of Chicago, the Chicago Public Schools, and then you can find more detailed information about the City of Chicago and how their taxpayer burden has grown. And also there's a great links to, if you want to get to the state's financial report, there's links for every single state on their financial report. And then we also have stories. But the powerful thing is our Create a Chart tool, which allows you to do historical charts for your state, but also to compare states. So let's say that we're just going to choose some random states. Let's choose the states around Illinois, Indiana, and Wisconsin. And then we have 150 data points that you can select to compare the states. So are people moving out of the states? You could do the moving ban index. Population numbers, education numbers, how many full-time teachers are in public schools, trust in government numbers, and also voting record information, and then Medicaid information. So for example, we have a data point called doctors accepting new Medicaid patients, and what we find is that the worse a financial state condition a state is in, the fewer doctors are taking new Medicaid patients. Then there's economic data. So we have unemployment data, GDP data, labor information, how many private sector and public sector employees are, and then the various rankings of the states, like the top states to do business. And then we have our numbers, and then financial statement numbers. So if you want to see income tax revenue from the states, all that. So I'm gonna select our taxpayer burden, which is the amount of money that future taxpayers will have to pay in taxes, but they won't receive any government services or benefits from those. And then on every single data point, if the year is highlighted, then that means that we have data for it. So in this case, we have data back to 2009, but in some data points we have all the way back to 1950. So I'm going to select all the years that we have, and then we're just going to say generate a chart, and it will generate a chart for you. And it will generate a chart. In this case, it would probably be better for us to do a line chart, so we'll do that. And then you'll see. So the blue line is Illinois, and you'll see its taxpayer burden is going down. So it started at $29,000 per taxpayer, and it's going all the way down to $45,000 per taxpayer. You can see our neighboring states, while they're below the line, they're just not going down as much. So Wisconsin had a per taxpayer burden of $5,100, and now it's down to $4,600. With this, you can also select to print them, and you can also select to do a JPEG or a PDF. So that's nice if you want to do a story or send. I often on my Facebook send pictures of my charts to say, hey, here's the people moving out of the state or all that. And then the other thing you can do is you can say share your chart, and it will create a specific URL for that chart, so you could also share that with your friends. Is there another data point that you want to look at?
Not right offhand, but that's excellent.
And then let me also show you for Illinois, I'll show you just how you could do a historical chart for. So we're going to select Illinois. Let's select their pension plans, their total unfunded pension numbers, and their unfunded retiree health care numbers. And then we'll select Illinois, and we'll select the years that we have, and then we'll say generate a chart. And again, we'll generate a chart for you. And so it shows how, whoops, my fingers went to La La Land, I apologize. Again, shows you how Illinois' pensions in 2009 was at billion, and now it's up to $116 billion. And then this is their retiree health care.
And those, actually, the blue is the unfunded?
Unfunded pensions, and then this is the unfunded retiree health care amount. So, and again, you could share that chart or print it or...
So that's a new number I hadn't seen. So the unfunded pensions now are 116 billion.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And if we round up, it would be 117
Yeah.
billion.
And the taxpayer burden, I mean the retiree health, it's another 44 billion. So you can also again go, let's go
Not 44 billion, right?
No, it's 44
Is it 44 billion?
It's 44 billion. So it's
Okay, so it's all in billions of
116,
dollars.
and then, yeah, this is in billions. And then we can go to Illinois. Let's go to Illinois tax financial, their two-pager, which is on here. So we'll select Illinois, and we'll find out their full new numbers. And we're going to do the financial state of Illinois, the amount, the full amount, which is our second page. So we have that they have bonds of 40 billion, other liabilities of 22 billion. Some of that money is related to capital assets, so we removed that from our analysis. Pension liability unfunded is 17 billion, and retiree health care is 44 billion. So we estimate that you have a total of $212 billion of bills. On the asset side, because we do a holistic approach, you have assets of 74 billion. We're trying to come up with the money that you have available to pay your bills. So we really don't think that you should sell your capital assets to pay your bills. And they also have bills that are assets that are restricted by law or contract. So say the federal government's given us some money, we have to use it for a very specific thing. That's not available to pay your bills. So of the $74 billion that we have in assets that come from the state's balance sheet, we only have $26 billion to pay, available to pay bills. Our bills are $200 billion and $12 billion, $213 billion. So our money needed to pay bills is $187 billion. If you divide that by the number of taxpayers in the state, each taxpayer's share of that debt is $45,500.